Next up at UFC 305, we have the co-main event of the evening. We got Kai Kara-France taking on Steve Erceg. Kai Kara-France 24-11 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5, coming back after a full year away. He's taking on Steve Erceg, 12-2 in his career, 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off that title loss to Alexandre Pantoja. Kai Kara-France, we haven't seen him in a year, but let's just assume his skills are what they were then. He's a good boxer, good power for his size. He's just a little baby thing. Good power for his size, lots of volume, technically sound. He works really well inside and outside the pocket. Takedown defense has worked well for him at 88%. He can be hesitant at times, but when he does let his hands go, he'll hit that flow state and he'll look really good. He's coming off that split decision loss to Amir Albazi, which was a little more than a year ago. He's taking on Steve Erceg. Steve Erceg didn't exist a year ago, and now all of a sudden he just fought for a title, and a lot of people think he won. He's a slick grappler. He attacks very quickly. He'll snatch things up in scrambles. The striking is improving. We're seeing those improvements in every fight. He's got nice calf kicks. He's got a piercing jab. No head movement, though, which is why he is hit with more than 4 significant strikes per minute. He does move fluidly. He'll seize opportunities on the ground. He's coming off that close decision loss to Alexandre Pantoja where he was taken down 9 times. I think this fight comes down entirely to Steve's ability to get this fight to the ground. If he can't get this fight to the ground, I think Kai Kara-France is literally just too fast and too slippery, and he just pieces up Steve Erceg at distance. Kai is like tiny. Like he's literally, I've been making jokes all week about how small he is. He's tiny. He's 5'4". He's the smallest person in this division.
He talk like this.
He's so small. He's Tweety
He
Bird.
looks like he should be like, hey, I'm Kai Kara-France.
Yeah, I mean, literally.
And his name's actually James.
I am James.
James Kara-France?
No, it's James like Kai something.
Oh, Kai's the middle name?
It's like a long, and then he shortens that and then takes that. Goes,
I am James.
Jimmy. You can call me Jimmy. Either way, he's tiny. Steve Erceg is very big for this weight class. So Steve Erceg should be able to bully, should be able to close the distance, sort of lean on him, drag on him, slow it down because Kai Kara-France is going to be the much faster fighter here. So Steve Erceg is going to need to slow the pace. I think he does. I am not nearly as confident in Steve Erceg as the rest of the community. Everybody thinks Steve Erceg is like a guarantee. I think Kai Kara-France has some success here. He's lightning fast on the feet. The problem is the year off, and he is just so freaking small. I was going to go place that plus 3.5. That was also quite expensive. That was like -2 something because a lot of people think he can win a round, which is surprising because if you look at the comments, if you look at Tapology, if you look at the Discord, people are 1,000% sure Steve Erceg wins. What do you think, Jakey? Boy.
well, the public seems to disagree, and they actually disagree, or they agree with your side because he was bet down all the way to -145 on most of the books. Today it's back up to 155, but that's a far cry of where he was at, -210, -220. I definitely bet him. I think it was around the -200, something around there, and I'm honestly comfortable with that number. I think he can go toe-to-toe with Kai in the striking. I think his counter-striking is pretty dynamic, and there could be an opportunity where he has Kai in trouble. But I think his size and his wrestling can get to a guy like Kai Kara-France. I know that Kai Kara-France has really good takedown defense, but I just think the physicality, and Steve is one of those, he's a lifelong wrestler. He knows how to kind of hit that extra angle, that extra kind of chain wrestling if he needs to go to it, right? He might not even need to go to it because I think he's going to have his length in the striking, and those counter hooks are going to be there for a guy like Kai Kara-France who really has to get in the pocket, being the smaller guy. So I like Steve Erceg here, and I'm not too crazy worried about it.
And you don't think he needs to be bigger? He doesn't need to slow the pace? You think he can literally just outstrike the Energizer Bunny?
I think he can be fine. Kai's not like a crazy pressure guy. He's fast when he goes, but
he's fast as shit. But yeah,
well, everyone at 125 is fast.
And also, it is funny that like New Zealand and Australia, and they like fake hate each other. Or they get pissed if you call their flags are almost identical.
Well, yeah, everything used to be owned by Britain, Angelo.
I understand. Just they didn't even try to be different.
Well,
they
at
said,
the time, they were barely different. They were both Britain controlled, so Britain just like, here you go. Let's try to touch up on our history here, sweetheart. And this is actually a home fight for Steve. There you go. In case
There
you're
we go.
wondering which one is which.
He's Well, $9,300 in DraftKings Fantasy is a far cry from the odds because they are minus 155 right now. $9,300 in DraftKings Fantasy is more like minus 350-ish type favorite money. Interesting situation here because I don't think Steve's going to be worth that $9,300. Even if he wins, I don't think he's going to be worth it. He has to put on a wrestling clinic to be worth that money. I think Kai's just too fast,
by
too slippery.
submission.
Is that a true statement or just a waning thought?
He's a really good grappler.
He's a very good grappler, but and I get he's like a very good wrestler for Australian standards, but he struggled with the takedowns.
Oh,
And he
against
struggled defending
fucking Pantoja.
Who's not a wrestler. Correct.
Guy was almost choked out by Albazi too. I mean, guy's a tough
Almost.
dude. And I think he won that
yes.
fight too.
Versus Albazi, and a lot of people are like, I guess we'll see. Albazi doesn't fight nearly enough, but a lot of people are like, Albazi's the champ. He's the guy, but we'll see how that all breaks down. But if you do want to check, yeah, they literally said it in the chat. If you want to check out the picks, the bets, the round line leans, the artificial intelligence, and more, WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. It's only $10 for an entire month. And our latest tool, the Data Analyzer, has a full tape index built into it. I got a message today. How do I watch the fights? Can I watch them on your website, like the historical ones? And I said, go to the Data Analyzer, pick a fighter, look at the chart, bing, click on the dot, and that fight is right in front of you. WeWantPicks.com. Click Become a Member at the top. 2 super chats. AJ said, I'm watching in my school's toilet, missing class. I don't know what flag that is, but we appreciate you.
What flag is that, chat? That's it's got to be.
I don't know what flag that is, dude.
It's got to be. Well, if he's at school,
Black
right now,
and
it's got to be
orange?
something over in Asia or somewhere, right? Or an island somewhere. Maybe an island out there, because that's the only place. It's got to be daytime there right now, right?
Let's see. Black and orange flag. I mean, I'm not going to spend 40 minutes trying to figure this shit out. There's a whole bunch of black and orange flags, and none of them that showed up were that one. Thank you, AJ Down99 for Mireles21. He says, you guys go back and forth like a married couple. Fair. I'm the husband. Dibs.
You really want to put it to me, don't you?
Sucks for you.